and we're on the line today with Mike Auger with Patriot Home Inspections. Mike is our go-to guy and is top-notch when it comes to home inspections. Very detailed, very reasonably priced, very knowledgeable. Guy knows the house inside and out, literally. And we're talking today about the pre-list inspection. So, Mike, are you on the line with us?
Yeah, thanks for having me on the show today.
You're very welcome.
When most people think about a home inspection, they think about your traditional buyer's home inspection, which is when somebody's going to buy the house, they hire me to go in, inspect the house so they can see the condition that it's in when they're buying it.
Sure.
And this, certainly everybody should do that. But what I'd like to talk about today is the pre-list inspection, because a lot of times what happens after the buyer's inspection is the buyer sometimes comes up with a list of items that they want to renegotiate for at that point, either unknown deficient items, or maybe expensive items they didn't realize were starting to fail, or safety concerns that they didn't really realize were going to be an issue for them. So what I like to encourage sellers to do is to have me come in before they list the house and do the same inspection for the seller. We call that our pre-list inspection.
I would agree with that totally, and it's actually something that we recommend all of our sellers to do, especially in older homes.
Absolutely. The biggest benefit here is to know exactly what you're selling. A lot of folks live in a house and they don't go in the attic and they don't climb on the roof and they don't open the electric panel, and there can be hidden issues in there that sometimes can be expensive repairs, and then it muddies up the process. They have an offer accepted on the house, and then they have a buyer that comes in, and now you can get a sometimes tenuous secondary negotiation.
Yes.
And if they had me come in to begin with, they could have done one of two things with that information. They could have fixed the items, and then it wouldn't be a problem. Or you can sometimes choose to disclose them. If you don't have the resources to make a repair, you can at least disclose a condition. So that way the buyer knows that condition when they make the offer, and it kind of takes it off the table for that secondary negotiation.
Exactly. You know what? That was perfectly put, Mike. And, and here's another thing that you do, too. If the house is in good enough shape, and I hope I'm not jumping ahead here for you, but I love how you put together a move-in ready certificate. I mean, who wouldn't want to see a full inspection report, know exactly what's going on from a reputable company? You ask any realtor about Mike Auger, and they're going to say he's a reputable guy, very trustworthy, knowledgeable. So you got this report from this company, okay? And you also have this move-in ready certificate. That's pretty phenomenal. And you disclose everything up front, so now that it's part of the price and the buyers can't really attack you for it.
Absolutely. It makes the process smooth. And yeah, that if the home has no major deficiencies, then we can issue it a certificate, and we'll call the home move-in certified. Sometimes a buyer will look at that and have a whole report. I have had it happen where they actually choose not to get their own inspection. I generally won't endorse that. But certainly, all the conditions are right out there. And again, for us, we do these in the same exact inspection we would do if we were working for a buyer. So you're going to get everything, everything disclosed, and you're not going to have any surprises later on.
Absolutely. That's perfect. It makes a ton of sense, and it's relatively inexpensive. So for under $500, they can get everything done, right? Radon tests, structural, mechanical, pest inspections, right?
Yeah, typically. I mean, our regular package includes the structural, mechanical, and the pest. On average, that usually comes in below about $450. It depends on the size of the house. Naturally, a big 5,000 square foot house is going to be a little bit more than a 2,000 square foot house.
Makes sense.
But certainly, it's we do a great job for a very fair price.
I would agree with that. Totally. a lot of great points, Mike. Go ahead.
Yeah, the other thing that the pre-list inspection gives you an opportunity for is, a lot of times people that are selling the house, they don't really know, if they haven't been in the market or haven't bought a house recently, what type of things are going to be scary or are going to be issues that buyers are going to really kind of dig their heels in about. And I can kind of guide them through that, because really about 85% of my work is with buyers. So I can tell them, yeah, this is broken, but probably not going to mess up your sale. This kind of thing, if you're getting an FHA or VA borrower, it's going to be an issue. This type of thing is a hazard, and some people are worried about things like asbestos on pipes and things like that. So I can kind of help them decide a little bit what things they want to fix and what things they just want to disclose as broken or old.
Yeah, and you're not only helping them, but you're helping the real estate agents as well, because, your real estate agent that you're working with on that, if they sell a number of properties, they're going to know where to coach their clients on what to take care of. So, chipping paint, you're absolutely right. Handrails, different safety concerns, asbestos, anything like that is going to be a safety concern that an appraiser is going to go in and say, look, this house doesn't qualify for a veterans financing or for a Federal Housing Administration or a USDA or a Rhode Island housing loan. So those are all important things that need to be mentioned and taken care of up front. And sometimes you need a home inspection to find them.
Yeah. And, and again, the main thing is just to not be surprised. You want to sell the house, you get the inspection, you price it according to all the deficiencies, all the conditions that were in the inspection, and sometimes it's better than you think. Sometimes you find a house with very few deficiencies, and we can price this at maybe a higher price point than average because the house is in great shape. So it's not only going to tell you to sell the house for less, it might tell you that you can maybe market it a little higher.
Yeah.
Yep. And then again, there's no surprise. The last thing you want to do is take your house off the market because you had an offer accepted, and then find a million things wrong with it. Meanwhile, you're not trying to sell that house anymore, and then the deal might fall through so you might have just wasted a bunch of time at that point.
Over nothing too. Usually it's stuff that we can overcome with either, credits or have your own person. Like we've got a long list of contractors in every trade that can go in and fix this for pennies on the dollar compared to what a buyer's going to want to negotiate. Kendra Chatterley with Rise Interiors, Kendra, Mike, she comes on the show and she said in one of her segments, and this is true, that for every $1 of something that's not fixed in a house, a buyer's going to ask for $3 worth of concessions. That's huge, right?
That's probably accurate because I've had buyers, and I don't get into the negotiation end of it really, but you overhear it. We're all in this together.
Yeah.
And they always ask for more than they think it's going to cost to fix something.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would say 100% of the time.
I would agree with that too. Definitely, it's definitely exaggerated because everybody's out there trying to get a deal, and I mean you can't blame them. But as your listing agent's going to fight to get you the highest price for your home, and I think it all starts with building the foundation and having all the right things in the right spot. From a home inspection up front to having your home staged, professionally photographed, and the right kind of marketing along with the agent that can negotiate you a great transaction. So it all goes hand in hand.
Yeah, and it doesn't take much for this to pay for itself. So I'll give you a perfect example. This is a true story. Mm-hmm. I did a home inspection for somebody for a pre-list inspection. It was an estate sale, so the person that lived there passed on, so they really had no information about the home. Mm-hmm. And it turns out the dishwasher didn't work. Not the end of the world, so they just disclosed dishwasher's broken. All right. Yeah. I've seen buyers come in and want a $400 concession to buy a new dishwasher because the dishwasher doesn't work, which is really, in the whole grand scheme of a house for hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe it's not a huge deal, but that $400 just paid my inspection to go out there for them just to write that they know the dishwasher's broken.
I would agree with that. Definitely. That's just one small example. Perfect. Sure. So Mike Auger with Patriot Home Inspections. Mike, well, first off, if you want to get Mike's info and if you're in the car and you can't write down his phone number, no sweat. Go to theroundtableradio.com. Easy to remember, theroundtableradio.com. Go under the expert contributors section. You're going to see Mike's picture on there. You're going to see all of his contact info. But Mike, why don't you throw out your phone number for our audience?
Yeah, you can reach me personally on my cell number. That's 401-578-4878. And certainly you can visit us online at homeinspectorri.com.